If you had a landing page anyone could join and you were full with clients and you were trying to be exclusive, you don't want any Tom, Dick and Harry signing up.
This industry is honestly fucked. Seriously, it's bad.
If you can just buy a product on a landing page, on a sales page, and you just buy it there and then, my suggestion would be that the person involved isn't that bothered about who you are.
You know, if you could pay me £10,000, but it's going to guarantee that you go from 10 to 50k a month, why wouldn't you do that?
Because of that. That's why.
That's the reason you were successful, not because you didn't do sales calls. Are sales calls dead in your fitness business?
Hey guys, we're Dan and Mike from Business and Banter, formerly Biceps and Banter, and we're here today to help you with your online fitness business in any way that we can. Business. And today, we're going to discuss whether sales calls are a complete waste of time within your fitness business, whether you should be doing them, why they may be dead for some people, and why we still believe you probably should be doing them, to be honest. And it's something that we cover in our members group extensively as to why they're important, how to do them, why people fear them. More importantly, we'll probably go into a little bit as well with this, but we go through exactly how we do them within our members group as well. And a lot of people that are in there probably are our one-to-one clients who know how we go through them as well. So they'll be able to tell you and verify in the comment section the way we do it and the way it isn't all salesy and shit like most people normally do it. But if you want to join that group, what have they got to do, Mike?
There's a link below this.
Yes, there is.
Takes you to a little page that gives you a little bit of info about what's involved. It's pretty good. It's 99 quid.
It's not a typo, it is 99 quid. It's not a typo, it's 99 quid, no contract, no upfront payments.
Can't be very good if it's 99 quid though, apparently. No, it is. It's very, very good.
But the reason we made it 99 quid is because we know you've been scammed for $5,000, that it was something that was useless and you've got no money left. So that's kind of how we came to that conclusion.
And we regularly get that this is way better than what I paid $5,000 for. Shock horror. That's why we did it. Anyway.
Yeah. So we'll talk about sales calls. There's a few people in the industry, look, who are sort of maybe mentioning that sales calls aren't necessary, aren't worth it. No one wants to do them, all this sort of shit. Shock horror. So we're going to break down exactly why that.
I don't think anyone wants to do anything these days, do they?
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to do any work these days.
Yeah. You don't want to do your coaching because we'll offload that. We'll get success coaching. Yeah. You don't want to do your program. We can get that sorted. Yeah. You don't want to do your content. We'll use ChatGPT. You don't want to do your sales calls, so we'll use a VSL.
Yeah.
So what? Hang on. So what you do?
I don't think anyone actually wants a business anymore.
So what are you doing?
They just want the money in their bank account. The sales calls one is a funny one because I see it a couple of times recently from people who've mentioned it and you know, saying how that, you know, they feel better for not doing it or that people don't like them or it's completely unnecessary in a fitness business. And one guy in particular, who was quite well known and quite famous, his whole thing was like, oh, you don't need a sales call if you're just giving out macros and a training plan, which kind of sums up maybe what you would get with him if you were to work with him. You shouldn't be giving out macros and training plan, by the way, because that's not coaching, is it? But we're going to talk through why we think sales calls are very, very important for you if you do coach. But just to think about this on a very personal level, if I'm going to work one-on-one with somebody and form a personal relationship with them, I would like to have a call with them just to check that I'm probably a right fit for them, to check that the program's right for me and to ask any questions I've got. Anyone who's selling something to you that isn't done on a sales call, that is a 100% guarantee in my mind that it is not one-to-one coaching. That's the way I look at it. Now, I'm not saying 100% is probably a bit strong, maybe 99%. But if you can just buy a product on a landing page, on a sales page, and you just buy it there and then, my suggestion would be that the person involved isn't that bothered about who you are, isn't that bothered about your goals, isn't actually that bothered about helping you. It might sound harsh, but what I mean by that is that you will not be getting one-to-one help with them. You'll be getting a product that solves a problem that you have. Because that's ultimately what you would use a landing page for, is it's a very specific product for a very specific problem that solves that problem, and you would do that there and then. You wouldn't get any one-to-one support. Like our members group, you don't get any one-to-one support in that. You get access to our videos and our trainings and all those sorts of things. We solve a very specific problem within that group, but you do not need a sales call because we are not going to have a personal relationship in that group beyond maybe you message us saying how great it is and how you've gained 20 clients in 6 months and it's incredible. Yeah, you'll get that from the group. Just be very wary of people who sell a product like that, who tell you that you don't need to do sales calls when you actually provide one-to-one coaching, when you actually provide a personal service and you actually go above and beyond for your clients and they don't. Just be wary of that very, very key particular thing within this, because that's the bit where it all breaks down.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's stupidity or telling you what you want to hear. I don't know.
I think it's the latter. I think that people are saying what you want to hear. Because it's easier, innit? It's easier, innit? Easier not to do.
Well, of course it is. Like, it's playing on the fact of coaches don't want to book calls, and it sounds easy. So anecdotally, this particular mentor, not mentor, is he? No.
Social media celebrity.
Yeah, this particular guy, right? One of my clients actually bought access to. Let's be specific yet vague. His Discord. I think you get lifetime access, and obviously that talks about not doing sales calls. So we actually stopped doing sales calls. We've got the data, because we track the data, because it's one-to-one coaching. So we've got the data when he stopped doing sales calls. So he was signing up. He's got really, really good lead generation. He's probably he's got to be in the top 10% of my clients, I'd say. So we're talking, I think on average, he's somewhere around signing up between, it's over 10 a month. It's over 10 a month. Consistently every month. I don't.
But I was promised 100 a month.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Fucking ridiculous.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, 20 a week or whatever it is.
Work for a year and you're sorted.
I think he's like 10 a month. Maybe I could be maybe more, but I don't want to throw too much. I don't want to go too much. And in the 4 weeks, that he stopped doing sales calls, he sold none. And whilst it's a small sample size, and whilst it's not a great...
Whilst it's a small sample size, it's 10 to none.
Yeah. It's a landslide in terms of... He got... I remember it was 17 inquiries, and he sent out the landing page to 17 people, and he got 0 sales off of it.
Good
and
odds.
Of course, straight away he wanted to move back to sales calls, and he did move back to sales calls, and he picked up the lead gen. I think he's signing up more than 10, but let's just say 10 for ease.
I think it's more the zero's the important number.
Yeah, the zero's the important number. I'm lowballing things, so that's only 2.5 a week. I think it's a bit more than that. I think it's about 4 a week, something like that. So it was obviously only a month, but it's a stark contrast, isn't it? And I told him not to do it, shock, and he did it, but at least he did it and saw it. And so then you go, okay, so why would you want to do a sales call? It takes time. You've got to sell to them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's why you would want to do a sales call. From my perspective as the coach, I want to do a sales call with that client because A, I want to see if they're serious about coaching. B, I want to see if our personalities click, whether they're going to be a time waster, tie kicker, whether they're going to be a good client, basically. And you can't always tell on a call. Sometimes people say the right things and they turn out to be a bad client. But at the same time, you can get a general idea. You can also get a better idea about how you're going to help them and where you're going to start with them. So if somebody says certain things to me on a sales call, I know straight away what I'm going to start to have them do when they come into coaching, right? And what level that they're at. So from a coaching perspective, for me, I want to garner that information, right? And then from a sales perspective, you then go, okay, am I more or less likely to get a decision made in a shorter space of time, having been on a call with someone or giving them the link to something for them to go away and watch, right, with no urgency? Well, the one with a bit more urgency, right? Am I able to demonstrate more value to them on the call if I'm actually able to speak to them, respond to the things that they are specifically struggling with, and show them a path and direction of how I'm going to help with that, right? Rather than giving some generic video that doesn't solve anyone's specific problems, but just speaks about features of a coaching product, right? So am I going to be able to use that to my advantage to sell to somebody? For if somebody's struggling with, let's just throw something out there, weekends, right? Let's just say that they always come off track on the weekend. Am I going to be able to tailor what I say in that sales call to show them what parts of my coaching might benefit them, and the fact that we can help them through their weekends? I can educate them, I can teach them sustainable approaches to dieting, I can use a different method of tracking on a weekend, or we'll start to incorporate some untracked days so that they don't see themselves as on-off anymore, whatever, right? You can demonstrate your value. So then when the kicker comes and you've got your price tag, you've already demonstrated that you're able to help them with a specific problem. You've demonstrated the value of what that product is worth, right? Whereas it's just lazy to fire out these VSLs and landing pages that are supposed to do exactly that, but you get to get more time back. Again, it comes to it. Time from where? What time do you need to get back? Because if you are needing clients, that says to me that you have some time. if you are full with clients, you probably don't need to change your sales process. No?
I hear this argument as well, though, is that, okay, if you've not got that many clients, it makes sense to do the calls, right? But then they're like, oh, what if you're like higher end and you've got quite a lot of clients? And I would go, even more reason to do a call with someone to make sure that they're a right fit. If you had a landing page that anyone could join and you were full with clients and you were trying to be exclusive, you don't want any Tom, Dick and Harry signing up. You want to do the call. So again, like with us right now. So I get this one from coaches. Oh, you're telling me I should take out the type form from my bio and I should not have an application process and I should just get them to message me. Well, why don't you do that? Right. We've got an application form, right? Because I want you to jump through hoops to work with me because I've got a waiting list. Like, respectfully, like I'm full and I'm now full till the end of this year, till January 2026. I'm full with people who want to work with me, right? Respectfully, I'm going to make you answer 12, 13 questions. And I am going to make sure I pick the applications that people have put some time and effort into versus the ones that people just put one-line answers. You're not going to get a message from me because it tells me what I need to know about how much you value your business, but also my time, right? So that's but why do you do it this way differently out of the way? Because we're different businesses, right? But likewise, all the advice I give my clients who are full with one-to-ones is that, well, that's why you would then have a group coaching program, which would have a sales page because you can put more people through it because you're not speaking to them directly because you might have another coach, right? Blah, blah, blah. There's systems that you have in the back end that deal with all that. But my view of this is like, if you were full and you were like, I don't have time to do sales calls, that's great. But even more reason to make sure that you don't get a bad apple come into your business, surely. Surely you'd want to do a sales call in that situation. Because then in that situation, you're doing a sales call for you. Not for the client. You're doing it for you, for quality control, to make sure the right people get through the door. And I think that rather than just ramp up the price, which is the obvious thing that people would tell you to do, right? But then, of course, you're going to not be able to help the people you want to help. And I just think that I can come back to any answer that these people have around these sorts of things, other than the only one, the reason that they keep doing it, it saves time, doesn't it? Saves time. Like you say, I'm like, from what? Sorry, but what are you doing here? Because I know that the clients have got upwards of 50, 60, 70 clients. They're the ones that want to do sales calls. The only ones that are coming to me asking me not to do sales calls are the ones that haven't got that many clients. And I kind of have to sit there and go, like, have you put 2 and 2 together yet? Like
5.
Good maths.
The thing is, so the advocates of this, again, going back to that first question of, are they stupid or are they telling you what they want to hear? So the reason why I kind of brought up, are they stupid, is because there's part of me that thinks, do you know, like how Dan's just giving you nuance to how we do things, right? And how we're actively telling you to not do those things, right, within your business, because what he said is it's different businesses, because we're at a certain point now where we're full until New Year. That's why we've implemented certain things. Now, the people that are telling you to do sales calls, right, if you've got 1 million followers, well done for a start, like well done. If you've got 1 million followers and you're selling access to an academy at 40 quid a month, yeah, you don't need a sales call. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But then distributing that information blanket across every coach that doesn't have 1 million followers and doesn't have a product or a low-cost service like that, right, is reckless. It's not the right information for the right businesses that need to hear it. And for some reason, this is why I was like, is it stupidity? Do they know what they're doing? Are they just trying to tie on to the fact that coaches are looking for an easy way? Maybe. From our experience, coaches on average do look for the easiest way. Maybe that's human nature, I don't know. Maybe it's a sector thing, I don't know. Ironically, the sector that preaches hard work with their clients. But
laziest people.
So like, I kind of go, how, if it is stupidity, and if it is them that goes, well, I never did sales calls, so that's the advice that I give out. But when you realise that you're anomalous to the average, and that the reason why this person was successful is because they were incredibly consistent for years on end. They had and still have a good personal brand and a good niche, a good message, good at communicating their ideas through content. They email marketed daily, and I think still do, right? That's the reason you were successful, not because you didn't do sales calls. Like, so it's just, again, to stick out adverts about sales calls are dead within the industry or whatever is going on, it's harmful. Like, it's reckless, and it's got zero context. So I would go, a lot more coaches on average need to be doing sales calls than the coaches that don't.
And with those sales calls, I think the reason as well that coaches don't like them is because they feel they have to be very, very slimy and salesy and charge up front and dig into pain points, make people cry. And that's not for this video. We're going to go on probably another video on that, or there's certainly a video in the members group on exactly why and how to go around sales calls, because there's a very, very straightforward and simple process with this where, guess what? It involves being a human fucking being, like most of our stuff talks about, right? Is that with those calls, it's just a conversation. It's not a hard sell. You don't take payment over the phone. You don't force them to take out credit cards. That is all extremely poor advice from other mentors, again, who respectfully are shit, right? And need your money up front because otherwise you would just leave, right? Unlike us, we charge monthly. And as we've just said, we've got a waiting list till next year. My clients can leave tomorrow if they want. Ask yourself the question, why don't they? Maybe, hopefully, cross fingers, it's because I'm okay at what I do. Maybe. I'll touch the wood as well, right? Whereas these other mentors charge up front for a whole year, charge you $5,000, $6,000. And Mike has said this before on numerous calls, in numerous amounts of social media posts. I wonder how many of those people, given the chance, would leave right now if they had to pay no further money and they weren't tied into that contract. I bet a good chunk of them would. Whereas our stats suggest, again, like I said, we're full. I just think you have to look at this and remember, like, again, who's right here then? Look at the data, look at what we're saying, right? We're going, if you build a business the same way that we would build a business, which would be on recurring revenue, all this sort of stuff, that call does not need to be a high pressure sales tactic, slimy, awful conversation where you're trying to extract money out of someone. It is a conversation to see if you can help someone, if you get on with them, whether there's a personality match, and for you to be able to describe how you would help them and the exact parts of your service that you believe they would benefit the most from given their problem and situation they find themselves. And then you go, does that sound like something you want to do? And I cannot emphasize enough, it is that straightforward. If you want to know exactly how to do it, it's in the members group. You're going to have to pay a little bit of money for that, just 99 quid with, again, no contracts, no upfront payments, right? Not going to give you everything for free, are we? I think we give you enough for free on YouTube, to be honest. But just know that the reason that you probably don't like it is because the way you've been told to do them as well is absolutely awful and is not how anyone should be advised to do a sales call. Yep. There's also that element to it. That's why coaches don't like it.
Yep. I wouldn't like it either.
I wouldn't. I would hate. I couldn't do it.
My ass would be falling out if I was trying to sell £1,000 for 3 months and then with the
knowing that I was coaching with AI as well.
Yeah, with the objection handling that I've been told to do. Yeah, like and to dig into the pain points,
make them cry,
all of that shit.
Unbelievable, like ridiculous. So
it's like I'm like jumping on people and I'm like, they've been given a sales deck, right? So if you're using a sales deck, right, and a presentation, you don't need to. FYI, I never did a single fitness consult over Zoom. Not one. It was all over the phone. So I didn't need a sales deck, did you? You just communicate with someone. If you're going through an hour-long presentation, which is what some people are teaching, an hour-long presentation, right?
Mate, I ain't got time for that shit.
I ain't got time. It's fucking boring. It's so clinical and non-genuine. It doesn't really care about the person. You're just going through these arbitrary pain points to try to dig out, insecurities in people, which is not great, I think, to be honest. And I go, well, ours took maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Mine still do sometimes.
Mine do.
Like I don't sit there and like going in deep in, like, again, business help and business advice. I don't go deep into anything. I think I've been following you for like years. Yeah, I thought you might have been. Yeah, I've seen you in the group. Yeah, I'm in the group. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, what specifically you want to do? This and this. Okay, sweet. I can probably help with that. Yeah, I know you can. That's why I'm on the call. Sound. Here's the price. You're keen for that? Yeah. Sorry, you got to wait till December. It's fine. I'll wait.
I'm still gobsmacked. I'm absolutely gobsmacked why people go with these other mentors, and and I sometimes have conversations like I kind of knew going into it.
I had that on a call. I had that on a call. Someone said to me that they renewed theirs. They had a call with the guy and they renewed it, and they said that they sent the money on the bank transfer and they knew straight away they made a wrong decision. And I was like, I'm ridiculous. You're so fucked from that point. Like, he's now signed up Members Plus. It's just and part of me is like, I think some coaches are never going to learn until they make the mistakes. Like, I think that's also part of it. I kind of sit there and go, I don't think they're going to learn until they've done it. But please, if you're one of those coaches that doesn't want to make the mistakes, you want to just go, what do the best people do? This is how to do it. Trust us. Because we're the ones that clean up the mess. We're the ones that get the coaches come to us going, yeah, I tried all that, fuck my business, tried all that, ruined myself, tried all that, hate doing it, got anxiety over them now. We're the ones that help those coaches. So rather than go through that and get that feeling, skip that bit and just come straight into the group and work with us. Again, like I said, we're not trying to sell you thousands upon thousands of pounds of stuff. We're full till January. I literally cannot help you other than the group. I cannot do it. I've got nothing else to sell you other than please just go in there, learn this way of doing it so that you never have to feel that way again. Or they're going to convince you to get on a call, funny enough, right? And they're going to sell you $6,000 up front. And they're going to push those pain points. They're going to push those pressure points. They're going to make you feel like you want to cry. They're going to say, take it out on a credit card. They're going to ask you if someone else needs to help you make a decision. They're going to get them on the call as well. And they're going to try and get payment from you there and then on the call. Tell me that's not what happens. Tell me that's not what happens. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So they don't know what happens on our calls. They won't know what happens on our calls because we do ours based on the individual each time because there's no fucking script. There's no way of doing it. That's how we know.
This was sent to me from a coach about a mentor because it was promised to him on a sales call. Honestly, mate, I really struggled mentally after it, as it knocked my confidence big time, as I thought I was a failure. He told me on the sales call I'd be doing 50k a month in 4 to 5 months, and in reality, I went from what I was doing, which was 10 to 12k monthly, to zero. I'm still trying to get myself back on track fully, as a lot of what I did with him, I feel I confused my audience and damaged my reputation. Superb. Like, they're going to promise that to you.
The worst thing is I've seen other people have the same things where their business has gone backwards for it. How's that work?
They're going to say that to you on a sales call. They're going to dig in and go, why aren't you where you should be? Does building a business not mean anything to you? That, if you could pay me £10,000, but it's going to guarantee that you go from 10 to 50k a month, why wouldn't you do that?
Because of that. That's why. That's why I wouldn't, mate.
It's ridiculous. This industry is honestly fucked. Seriously, it's bad. Really bad.
So that's why...
It's why we get irate about it.
It's why we get irate and passionate about it. It's why we've got the group, and it's why when we hear people say things like, oh yeah, but what am I going to learn in that group? It's 99 quid, with the big names when they charge this amount. And I'm like, the reason we have the group and we've charged the way we've charged it and the way it is...
We'll charge £5,000 for it then.
Yeah.
All right, if that's what you want to do, we'll charge £5,000 because it's worth it.
It's fucking mad to me because I'm sitting there going, right, what's the unique problem everyone faces? Well, they can't afford £5,000 because they've been scammed out of fucking stuff with people before. All right, we'll just let them in for 100 quid then. Still not good enough now. Still not good enough.
It's too cheap.
It baffles me that you try and fix a problem for coaches and then they throw up that as an argument. And we're sitting here reading that message like, well, we've got tens and tens and tens of hundreds of them, other people, right? Who say the same thing. That's why we do it. That's why it's 99 quid. That's why we're not going to ramp the price. We're not going to hide it all behind a paywall like they do. And we'll tell you exactly what they do on these videos for free because we know what they do. Because some of you watching this video now are going to not believe us. Right? You're going to go and have one of these calls and it's going to be exactly like we've just described. And you're going to go, maybe they do know what they're talking about. And if that's what it takes, unfortunately, then that's what it takes. I'm just saying, don't let that happen. Don't be that person that doesn't believe it when it's right in front of you. Anyway, before we keep going off on one, make sure you subscribe or something. I like it. Do whatever.